All right, welcome everybody. We're letting everybody in. What's up? What's up? We'll give a few minutes before we get started. Thanks for hopping on. So, Toby, hanging out. How's your day going, Toby?
Good, man. It's going good.
I'm on the same time zone as you for the first time.
What's that?
I'm on the same time zone as you for the first time here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's nice, huh? Pacific Standard Time's a good one.
It is really good. I like it. I like it on the West Coast. California is, I could see why so many people have been moving here in the last, 50 years, and now it's so populated that people are moving away, but
it's crazy.
I like it here.
Housing prices are just through the roof. It's
just how you guys afford California.
Yeah, it's
just
I don't know.
Some were painting, some were roofing, right?
Yeah, you just got to do better, right? You don't have to be the best. You just have to be better than 95% of the other guys.
That's right.
And if you're the best, it's even extra.
You're hanging out and you're on the road right now, right? Where are you at?
I'm in Colorado Springs, so I'm on Mountain Time, which is the most confusing time zone in the world because it's like I'm an East Coast guy, so Central is always easy to figure out. It's always 1 hour, and Pacific I've just been used to 3 hours. Mountain Time, I have no idea how people keep things straight. If you're in the mountain dealing with people on the West Coast and the East Coast, that'd be frustrating.
It's kind of like the redheaded stepchild time zone,
Yeah.
It's like this weird in between time zone. But nice. Hey, if you guys are coming on, just give us a quick where you're calling in from in the chat. Just let us know where you're calling in from as you guys are hopping on. This is going to be an awesome hour of value and OC. Nice. Memphis, Chicago. Here we go. No mountain time zone yet. So
Flores, what's up, buddy?
Nice. And Kiki, love it.
Sean, Pittsburgh. Here we go. That's probably Sean Whalen, I bet.
Or that's your old stomping grounds.
What's up, Tammy?
Groth.
Love it. Good.
South Florida. I'm heading to Orlando.
Good. What boys at Cherry? Fort Worth, America. Did you see that?
Hi, Meredith. What's up? Who's from Canton, Ohio? I want to know who's from Canton, Ohio. I was born in Canton, Ohio.
Fort Lauderdale, old stomping grounds.
Oh, Ryan Ward. There you are. All right.
Love it. Okay.
Bruno.
Well, hey, super glad you guys are here. Welcome to the webinar, How to Break Through Your Revenue Ceiling with a High Performance Sales Team. You guys ready to get started? Can we get started?
Let's do it.
You guys feeling ready to go? Let's go. Let me make sure my slides are working. Actually, I'm concerned they're not. Here we go. I'm on. Here we go. So here's where we're headed in today's training, everyone. So strap in, take your cell phones. Don't be too distracted. Lock in. You got about 55 more minutes with us. It's going to be valuable. Please just do yourself a favor and focus. You're going to get great results in your mind, and you're going to have some great breakthroughs, and you're going to get better today. So here's where we're heading. We're going to talk about proven systems for reaching new levels of profitability in your business. So that right there, if you just get that, that's worth the money. Techniques to train, empower your team to take consistent, disciplined action. Performance evaluation hacks for measuring your team's selling performance and competencies fast. How to fire yourself from sales once and for all. And simple and effective ideas for creating the culture and legacy you want in your business. So we're going to cover a lot, but these are some of the main outcomes you can expect today. So I've got Toby and Benny here because they've been clients they've been using our system, working together, become friends. And I just love working with these guys, and they have a great story, each of them, of why they should where they came from, what's happened, and what they can share with you today as our guest. Toby's a painting contractor and Benny's a roofing contractor, but let's just talk about where it all started, guys. Toby start and, then Ben, and kind of go back and forth on the story of where it all started.
Yeah. So thanks, Ryan. So the decision for me to start my own business was I wanted to be my own boss, wanted that freedom that comes with that. And I wanted to be wealthy beyond my wildest imagination, right? as everybody knows, when you start, there's some challenges, right? Now, knocking on doors, painting houses myself, running around with paint cans in the back of my truck. And I remember this one point where I was near Blackhawk and I saw this guy that looked to be my age driving a Ferrari. And I'm like, man, that guy's driving a Ferrari. And I'm driving this truck and I got paint on my arm. And I'm like, it's just that challenge that you have when you first start of, it's a little bit of chaos, right? Sometimes a lot, sometimes a little. And, but yeah, it was, it's the American dream.
Got it. Love it.
That is a great American dream story. I will tell you that I never ran around with a nail gun in my hand, though. I would say I was lucky. I was in commercial roofing for 5 years. I got to learn from my uncle who taught me that business a little bit. And then I decided that I really liked that residential homeowner experience because there wasn't a lot of contractors in our town of Pittsburgh that were actually trying to do things like the right way, like the way they would take care of you, at a nice hotel or a nice car dealership. There's a process and you know exactly what you're getting. And I really like technology. And I thought, like, if I could just mix all that customer service and technology with this roofing business that I just learned, I feel like we could start something really special in Pittsburgh. So that's what I did by myself. I met a crew about 2-3 weeks into my business. I was out recruiting crews on in neighborhoods. I would go and just stop by job sites. And I knocked on 10 doors. I got one customer. I ended up and then I took that money from that first customer, made an ad in a local newspaper, and then just started, networking, and one thing led to another. And here we are today.
This picture with you, Benny, this is your first job?
That was my first job. Yeah. Little, I forget how big square, like 15 square, probably. It was around $6,000. Lido Drusi was a customer's name out in Castle Shannon, Pennsylvania.
Love it.
Remember,
you guys started a business, and it was way better than working for yourself. It sounded like out of the gate, and you guys took the risk, and you got after it, and things started to look better, right? Things started to look good as you grown your business. So what happened from there, Toby and Ben, from your journey?
So things started looking good. We broke $1 million in revenue. Started building systems, hired a production manager, a customer service manager. It was taking me out of running the jobs and being in charge of all the projects and in charge of all the painters and, in charge of everything, right? So I started building some teams and, started looking really sharp, right? So, got to do some stuff. This photo is actually me and one of my employees in Mexico on a missions trip, meeting some missionaries and doing some stuff. So got to do some fun things, and started seeing some things turn the right way.
I had a lot of fun my first year. First 3 months I was in business, I think I sold $250,000 worth of roofing. And when you're the only employee, man, that's all that extra money, that's over top of the material cost and your marketing expenses, literally drops to the bottom line. So I thought I was rich, and I was really excited, and that kept me fired up for a while. And then I was doing too much selling, if there's such a thing, because then I couldn't keep up with the production side of things. So then I got really desperate, and I was like, oh gosh, well, now what am I going to do? I'm actually have to hire someone. And I hired my first project manager to kind of help me with managing job sites, so that way customers could be happy. Then I hired a salesman that you see here in the picture, Ed, who's still with me today. And that was after the first full year in business. I started having fun. I had a small team. I hired a lady to take care of my bookkeeping because I was the worst at that. I was good at hitting invoices, but bad at tracking expenses, probably like a lot of you guys are. So yeah, it was a lot of fun those first couple of years.
So you have this situation where you're both, the business is going, but you both have more overhead now, right? You both have more cost, and you're starting. You made some money, which is great, and you felt it, but you're starting to realize that, what has to happen. Well, what happened from there? It all turned downhill, like a roller coaster for a little bit. So Toby and Ben, tell us your how it kind of went downhill a little bit and why that was a challenge.
Yeah, so for us, we had developed to the point where I needed to have a salesperson besides myself doing the estimating and selling projects, and hired a great guy. He had no experience in construction, and I really didn't have a system to train and manage except for just watch me do it and then do that. it was a challenge, and we really didn't know how to get super consistent results. So that was a bit of got a little scary there, right? Now I've got an organization, I got to lead, and it's got to go beyond my ability to sell.
And for me, it was like, I think I was like 2.5, 3 years in, things were humming along, and I got a message. I had a meeting with my accountant that said, you did more revenue than you did last year. He said, great job. He said, but you made $150,000 less. And I go, so that means we really weren't profitable. And he goes, yeah. He's like, you made some money from selling your own jobs. He said, but like the company didn't make any money. Like you're hemorrhaging money right now. And I'm like, how's that possible? And that's when I started looking for answers.
You started looking for answers, and
Yeah,
where are we now?
I think I met you at IRE in Dallas a 2-3 years ago almost. And I was desperate. I was like, it can't keep up this way, because like, there's, as a business owner, it's really lonely at the top, and there's like no one to really talk to or no one to really bounce ideas off of. And there wasn't all these awesome coaching programs and things out there at the time. And, but I ran into Ryan, and yeah, now I've grown my sales team. We've grown the whole organization. I think we have, I don't know, 26 people working for us now, and over 450 Google 5-star reviews. So things are moving along now.
Yeah, you're like, your health was.
Oh yeah, I lost like 75 pounds. I totally transformed. It wasn't even just sales. It was like sales was the start of a big transformation in my life.
Yeah,
and, it allowed me to do other things with my life that I think will carry on to leave a more important, better legacy.
Yeah. Big shift. Toby?
Yeah, so now we've got 3 salespeople. Every one of them are ahead of their goal for the year. We're ahead of our goal significantly for year to date. I get to lead my team through coaching, a couple events, took my team to play some golf, my sales team for hitting their goal. That's the office team. We went skeet shooting. We're not murdering anybody. And yeah, sales has become the driving force in my company instead of the restraining force. And, it's been really amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, I'd love watching it grow. So guys, in this webinar, imagine if you had the blueprint to clearly define sales process, had a team that can fully delegate sales to and not worry, hey, did the deal close or not? But like, no, it's deals are going to happen. They're going to close. Have predictability in your revenue growth. You could escape from being trapped in your business and didn't have to worry about handling all these sales calls yourself like Toby and Benny used to do. Imagine if you can grow and train your team on automatically. You might be thinking, I'm too busy always putting out fires. I don't have time for this. That can't happen. I can't trust my team to sell. How can they sell? I'm the only one who can sell like me, right? My guys are too set in their ways. In fact, I'm already making bets on who's going to leave if we adopt a new sales process. How can little old me attract and retain high-performing reps? Like how? You might be thinking, I don't want to sell too much. We're not going to be able to get it all done. You also might be thinking, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and expect new levels of success. All of a sudden, some magic fairy is going to come and just say, boom, and just everything's going to change. Benny, that's how you felt, Toby? You just kept doing the same thing.
But the magic fairy never showed up until I met Ryan Groth.
Well, no, you had to do something with the magic fairy, but you did your part. But the point is a lot of people think they're just going to keep doing what they're doing without changing and expect something like to magically happen, right? And that's something that you might be thinking right now, just like these guys did. So if you fall into any of these categories, then I'm going to show you by the end of today why none of this is true and how you can still find success at growing and training a sales team, even if you currently don't believe any of these, okay? So our results are not typical, all right, that Ben and Toby has. Everybody's varies. So who are we? Just quick, why should anybody, hear what you have to say other than this next section? Toby and Benny, what's going on? Give us the bullet points here.
Yeah, so where we're at right now, I'm a residential painting contractor in the Bay Area. We grew from 2.5 to 6 million in 36 months. Doubled the average deal size, which was a big deal. Increased our closing ratio significantly, and because our sales is doing so well, we've got to we're taking on a roofing business to give my salespeople something to sell. And I was able to get my dad his dream car, a Cobra. Man, the guy just flipped out. So that
I
was,
want to
that
race
was
your
pretty
dad.
awesome.
I got a Hellcat. I got a Hellcat. I want to race your dad. Anyway, I'm Benny Fisher, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're really proud that we have over 500 or 450 5-star Google reviews. I was doing about $3 million in business, and then when we signed up with Sales Transformation Group and got the coaching, we ended up doing over 5 million the next year. We're on pace. Our goal this year is to do 10 million in revenue. And yes, I've been known to hang out with Gary Vee, and I am into NFTs, and that's a whole nother webinar. So you'll have to tune in for that one later.
Yeah, these guys are crushing it, living life, doing well. Love these guys. So yeah, I'm Ryan Groth, a founder and CEO of Sales Transformation Group, STG for short. So yeah, I was a former pro baseball player. My parents were in the contracting business. They owned a company in South Florida. I saw their struggles. I saw them. You know what happened, guys, is like my parents' marriage failed, like everything broke down like during the recession, and they didn't have the tools, they didn't have the business to like thrive the way that we all hoped that we would. And so it deeply impacted me during my years in college and pro ball to try to be success. And when baseball didn't go as far as I was hoped, went much further than most people. So I'm proud of that. But I had to kind of reinvent myself. There wasn't a business that I'd be a second generation owner and come back to and take it to the next level. So I learned from some large contractors and came really close into the who's who in roofing, and started to see a bigger problem. I saw that this industry doesn't have sales systems that you can train and kind of professionalize your craft and create an attractive company and opportunity for people like me, the 25-year-old me. Like I wanted to go be successful in a contracting business, and I struggled to see that anywhere until I was like, well, I'm just going to make this solution happen myself. So let's go out there and transform an industry. And that's what we're all about here at STG. And I'm proud to say that since I've been in this industry, we've helped and, brought on and onboarded upwards of 600 companies and growing, and with a big vision to continue to make an impact. So that's who we are. And now we're going to get right in. So who's this training for? This is for contractors who want to hire and onboard sales talent on autopilot. Yes, autopilot. Contractors who want to ramp those new hires up fast. Contractors who want to maintain and retain a hands-off sales team. Contractors who want to see sales come in from a self-driven team of high performers and who want to break through their revenue plateau. This is not for somebody who'd rather cut corners and save a buck and deliver quality work. They got to know their value, right? You have to stand for that. This is not for people who don't care about their customers and just view them as a paycheck. This is not for contractors who rather just stay comfortable than make a change. You got to be ready to get uncomfortable. If you're not ready for that, this is not for you. And anyone who is looking for a way to get rich quick, like Toby Love when he saw his buddy with a Ferrari. Okay, that didn't happen as fast as you thought, right? You had to do this long game, right? But that being said, this is not for you guys if that's you. So here's what we're going to cover in today's training. Part 1 is how to train a disciplined sales team of action takers who crush sales. Part 2, how to increase deal size, close rate, and get more gross margin. And part 3, how to create an incredible culture and legacy in your business. All right, sweet. So if you're still here, awesome. Who are you? I want to hear what industry you're in. So tell us, you already told us where you're from. A little quick 30-second break. What industry are you in? What industry? Got roofing, painting, painting and roofing, painting, roofing. Okay. All right. Industrial oil, gas, fire protection. Yes, we got an outlier here. Nice. Security. Beautiful. Love it. We are all about the inclusivity of multiple trades. That's what we want. We want to impact the trades plurally, not just one. So I'm really glad to see this. Welcome, welcome. Okay. We'll keep rolling here. Keep rolling. Pool equipment. Very cool. Love it. Industrial construction. Good. Okay. So part 1, how to train a disciplined team of action takers who crush sales. This is like the most Toby statement I've ever read in my life. I love it. Okay. Toby, take it away. This is your section. Let us hear how step one looks.
Thanks, Ryan. So, you know, the biggest challenge that we had was that we just didn't know how to get repeatable results, and I didn't really have a system. But the first part of it was you've got to have a system that helps hold accountability. You have to have standards and hold your people to the line. When you don't do that, and you're telling them it's okay to be a low performer, right? And to be honest, like I've done a lot of development on this, and there's a couple pieces you need for holding accountability. Your people have to know what you want them to do. They have to be able to do it, and they have to be able to repeat it consistently, right? So somebody might be able to run a mile, but if they can't run a mile every day for a month, you can't expect them to run a mile every day for a month. Same thing with sales, right? So they got to know what to do. They got to know, be able to do it, right? So you tell them, you show them and watch them do it. And then you got to see them do it repeatedly. And then you can hold them to the line. Once you do that, then you say, hey, here's the line, and you got to talk about it, right?
What if they wiggle in a little bit? What if they push, what if they push back? What if you like, need them, you feel like you need them and they're like wiggling on the line?
So there's two pieces. If you hire people that match the values of your organization, then you got to work with them and coach them through it. Typically, it's a self-limiting belief. One of the great things that Ryan showed us is how to grab those self-limiting beliefs and root them out. And that's, I feel like sometimes that's my job with all of my employees. These crazy beliefs that, oh, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, or they, whatever. And we got to get rid of those. But if they're not a values match, you got to define that and help them find that next job for them that's not for you. Because if they're not a values match, it's going to be a struggle. Sometimes you can convert them, but that's a lot of work. But
so you're saying if you hold the line with the right people, the values match, it's not going to be that much of a struggle.
No, the story I told myself again at one of the in-person events was, if I hold my people to the line, they're going to quit. I'm going to end up broke, living in a gutter with nothing, right? Which is crazy. And, I realized that when I hold them to the line, their job satisfaction is going to be better. Their performance will be better. They're going to be happier. Every part of it gets better. And people want to perform well, right? Nobody shows up and goes, I want to be a low performer today. Or at least nobody that you should be hiring. So
awesome. Let's hit the next slide. So step two.
Yeah. And so then you've got your system of accountability. Then you got to coach them through the challenges, right? So, you got to have those boundaries of how you're going to run your sales program, right? Let them know what to do, right? Give them the lane. Here's the, the white lines and the yellow line. Don't go outside of those. And then let them work, ask them hard questions, and then, build value based on their real needs. So, this is the thing I love the most, is being able to help my team get through those hard pieces. It's like walking up the stairs. They get to the destination instead of getting there and then boom, they gotta jump over this huge barrier. So that coaching piece is so important. And that's just some formal coaching, but really it's just asking great questions to help them get where they're going to go.
What does that look like? Give me an example of asking a hard question.
So hard question. One of my reps, one of my sales guys, love this guy. He's telling me, hey, Toby, I know I've had a rough week, a low week, but all my deals are going to pop at the same time. And I said, really? You think every one of those people are coordinating and then they're all waiting for one to go and then they're all going to sign the contract? They're all going to tell you yes. And really the hard question was, what is it that you're doing that's different than before? The next week, crushed it. Blew his weekly goal out of the water. Sold, 3 deals. Customers are super happy. And it was just, helping them to see that it's not them that are all colluding. It's that maybe you got to tighten up your process. And then the last part is you got to be flexible. You got to get self-driven feedback. So, STG is really cool because it gives you all these tools, but some of them we have to make ourselves. So I created this this form that I had my team fill out. Fish, here you go. And what it is, this is the STG baseline selling process, first to home. So these are the questions we ask, and then they rate themselves 1 to 5, 5 being, hey, I can't improve. I asked a great question, got a great answer, to 1, I did a terrible job. And when they use this, it helps them to just fine tune it, because once we teach them the process, they know how to do it, they can repeat it, then they can hold accountable to these results of, hey, you should not have a 4 or a 5. And we use this, and it gets incredible results and helps to avoid those big crashes where they have just really consistent, good sales. And they're not struggling on Friday to close deals. They're leaving early Friday because they're ahead of their number.
You're saying that like sales can be consistent, repeatable, predictable, and it's not like it's like a magic, like talent requirement. It's like right people, right seat, holding the line, holding them accountable, and reinforcing something that you believe in, that's consistent, that's proven, and committing to it. And just that's going to create a disciplined team of action takers that crush sales.
A great sales program and process is just like putting a roof on the house that Fish sold. There's 15 steps. You do these 15, you got a great roof that's going to last for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Same thing with sales. If you do the steps and you follow the process, you get the results. There's not a fantasy fairy out there that's waving a magic wand that all of a sudden your guy got lucky, right? Hope is not a strategy.
Totally. Love it. So good. Thank you, Toby. It's great to see what you've even put in your organization in response to like reinforcing. So well done and awesome. Thanks for sharing. So
thank you.
Real quick, talk about Bradley here.
So Bradley, hired new guy. He was in the military, fueling up helicopters. Great guy. I knew he had the desire. I knew he really wanted to do a great job. No experience in sales, no experience in painting, but I had a gut instinct that this is my guy. He's willing to do whatever it takes to get it done. And in 5 weeks, the guy had already sold. He sold $100,000 his 5th week in the field, which was just unheard of.
Your average job size is what?
14,000 now. At the time, it was 7,000.
7,000.
That's like 13 jobs in his 3rd month.
That's incredible. That's over 2 a day. Like in his 3rd, his 5th week.
Yep. 5th week in the field. There was a couple weeks of training and then in the field, but yeah, just amazing results. And my thing is, I love seeing this guy being so excited about his job.
Love it. You're the man. Okay. So part 2, I'm going to build off that. How to increase your deal size, close rate, and get more gross margin. So step 1 is, I think that when your reps are going through a sales system, you have to measure your team's selling competencies objectively. Yes, you have influence over them. Yes, you can tell them how you think or what you believe in, but it really opens up the coachability relationship when there's an objective report on their competencies. And so one of the competencies we really care about when we're trying to grow sales, there's 21 that we measure, but some of the ones that we want on the outputs that we want is hunting, reaching decision makers, relationship building, consultative selling, selling value, and qualifying. Those right there are huge. But if you have somebody who has a poor supportive buy cycle, or they're not comfortable discussing money, or they have limiting beliefs in their mind, it's going to sabotage their ability to sell value, sell consultatively, qualify effectively, right? So if you want to sell for more margin, think about it. If you went from selling 2 jobs at, if you sold 1 job at 40%, you have to sell, but your margins before are 20%. You'd have to sell 2 jobs, which takes up double the resources to make the same amount of money. Or you can just increase your gross profit margin and sell more value. And that immediately hits your bottom line way harder than when you were doing it before. So going and maximizing the threshold of margin is the fastest way to grow your business. So selling value is really important. That increases your deal size. That changes the game. like more than anything is being able to increase your deal size and increase your gross profit margin. Why be in business if you're making razor thin margins, working really hard and then to get the job, and then you're working really hard to work yourself out of a job just to walk away with some pennies, right? So we want to be able to do that. That's really important. You got to gap them, gap your salespeople, find out the gaps. This is an example of somebody gone through our training. 10 months later, their sales percentile went from 48 to 98. See the gap there? Big jump from the training and the coaching. So I know Ben and Toby, you guys both have been through this process, and it's really helped. We're going to talk about that toward the end. And then step 2 on how to do this is you have to have a vision and cast a vision that other people can follow. Because when you're trying to get everybody into a sales process and then singing from the same sheet of music, going to battle together, being willing to be coachable, holding the line, selling value, you have to justify change in your sales process. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're leading an organization, you can look at the change management curve. I use this in my course, but we talk about how at first, like, you know, there's like denial and anger with change, but as you're consistent over time, the results come. You have to have a vision that's compelling enough to justify a change in the sales process. Because if you don't do that, the change will get people whiplash. They'll start to feel unsettled, uncomfortable, and they may not adopt it. So you have to look at the consequences of that individual person and the organization if you continue to do what you're always doing. Then you have to cast vision of where you're going. So that way people are like ready to run through a brick wall, which hurts. And it could be, yeah, but that's not going to hurt when you implement a sales process. At first, it might hurt a little bit, but as they get into it, like Bradley, the guy's crushing it in his week 5, right? Or even sooner potentially. So you got to get them to change and become a high performer. The objective approach will help with that. And then justifying change through a nice, compelling vision that others can follow is really important. And then thirdly, you define a sales process and commit to mastery. Commit to mastery. You know, if you look at the top performers in any sport, there's a dramatic delta between average and the top 1%. They're playing the same sport, same position, right? Same opportunities. What separates a good and a great performer? It's their commitment to mastery. You know, I'm in LA right now. I'm feeling some Kobe right now. You know, rest in peace, Kobe. And Kobe was so committed to mastery. He was copying all of MJ's moves, called him like a little brother, nagging him in the middle of the night, asking him about this, asking him about that. You have to be a leader and that owns sales, or, you know, as a sales organization that happens to do whatever it is you're doing, pool equipment. I don't care what you're selling. We are a sales organization that happens to sell pool equipment, whatever it is. You're committed to mastery. And when you're an organization that discusses mastery the way that you like, it inspires high performers to get better. And I tell you right now, anytime you talk to a high performer and help them get better, they always thank you. You talk to an underperformer and you talk to how they get better, they always push back because they're not a winner, right? So winners love to be pushed. They love to grow. They love to figure out how they can get better, and they're coachable, and you got to hold the line to that. So a quick story here of a company that's doing a great job of that out of Canada. These guys before STG, Justice wasn't even there. Ryan and Adam were both doing 1.7, 916 respectively. After STG, you see a huge jump in their sales and their closing ratio increased. And Justice, who didn't have any experience with any other sales system, came out of the gate swinging at a 44% closing ratio and done a great job. So a couple other examples of people who've done this, you know, seen some great results, very proud of their success as well. So part 3, Ben Fisher, how to create an incredible culture and legacy in your business. Let's go ahead and let's hear you share there.
What's up, man? That was, I think that ties right into what you're talking about with vision. And one of the things that I've learned over the past couple of years in business is that you have to create a compelling vision and you have to share it, and you have to share it more than once. And with our sales team, you know, I started learning that through the course. One of the first things they teach you is, you know, figure out what your vision is, figure out what your core values are, and then make sure that everyone else that you hire, like Toby was talking about, matches those values, because then you'll start with a better, they're still going to need help. but they won't need you won't have to teach them about their heart, because if you're hiring people with the right hearts, they should fit in well with your team. The other thing that we do once a year to build this culture and the sales machine is we get together once a year for 2 days to 4 days, depending on kind of what we're feeling. And we kind of run through the basics of baseline selling, the principles of how we do business at the Big Fish. The other thing that we do is on a weekly basis is we're all in a sales meeting. So we're all hanging out together. Then after that, everyone kind of spreads out, goes on their appointments. We do 5-minute daily huddles, which really keeps the team cohesiveness together. Anytime that we see people exemplifying their core values, we're really like calling those out and saying, hey, one of our core values is serving others. You did a really good job of helping that teammate out, in operations and running to go get that piece of material, right? So we're always constantly just driving the culture through those things. We also have quarterly events where we get the whole company together. We go over the vision, we go over the numbers, we go over the data is really, really important. Because back in the early days when it was just me and a few people, we ran the business purely off emotion and like how we were feeling that day. And what that can lead to is, one day your people love you and the next day they hate you and they don't really know why, because it's really, based on how you're feeling that day. And with numbers and data, it's really helpful for, about 98% of the team. There's still going to be a couple top performers that still love that emotion. But when you can get the whole company running on data, it really makes the culture really good.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, like the way you put on your events, I mean, you're like, you do such a great job creating an atmosphere, and
I
talk
appreciate
about that for a second. Like,
yeah, so I mean, like, I don't know, a lot of us in the roofing business, if you haven't been to a roofing conference, I suggest that you go to one. I've been to IRE, I've been to some of the stuff with GAF. And they just put on these big shows and they have these awesome speakers and they have these engaging content. And I'm like, how do I get that at my company? Like, how do I get what I see, like, Tony Robbins doing? Like, how do I get that at a little Big Fish, because there's only 25 of us. How do I put that on? Well, I just do the best we can. I try to find guest speakers that I know, they're not very, they're not paid people. They're friends of mine that I've met in the community who, I know can make an impact, hopefully can get something out of the people a little bit differently than I can. A lot of times, we make it interactive. We do a lot of team building stuff. We have a lot of fun too. One of the reasons I started the business was to have fun at my workplace, because I've never had a job where I had fun at ever in my life. So I said, never again will I go to work somewhere where it's not a fun place to be.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So Ben, let's talk about this again, the creating the culture. Like what I noticed about you is that you wanted, like, it started with you. I mean, dude, you've lost 75 pounds. Like you like exude something that you didn't before. Okay. And I think that's really magnetic. And I think it leads to who your gifts and how you were made and created. But I also think that there's something about what you've done that's like changed your team. Right. And so what do you say? Look, like there's how many people here right now? I mean, there's a certain number of people right here, and they're over here like asking this question: what is it going to take for me to create this culture within myself? And let's talk about that. Like maybe you can hit on some of the things you've done to kind of get the core values, the vision, and then living by example. Can you talk about each of those, especially the by example part?
Yeah. So at first, when you're under stress as a business owner, and when you're wearing multiple hats, when you're doing the selling, when you have to approve the ads for your billboards and the things that you're doing in marketing, when you're trying to schedule and order material, if you're still doing all that, and then if you're still doing invoicing, like that puts a lot of stress on you. So then you end up spending 14, 16, 18-hour days. And then that takes a toll on your family. It takes a toll on your friends, your personal life. You don't have any hobbies. Then you can kind of self-medicate, whatever that is. Everyone's got a different way to deal with their stress.
Yep.
Once I realized how to delegate some of these responsibilities at the office, and by building a sales team, because I was always good at sales, I wasn't the best at sales, but I was good enough. But when I had to do it all, it was very like, wow, how do I do this? And when I started doing it and it started getting some success, I then created more time for myself to go work on myself, you know, reading more books, hiring more coaches and mentors, and learning from other people, getting to hang out in circles where I'm getting knowledge of things that I never really knew before. You know, I've always wanted it. You know, I grew up in a good Christian home and I had good core values from when I was the time I was a kid, but life will beat you up. And like, you know, and sometimes you get punched in the face and sometimes you get knocked down. But it's all about how you get back up, and then creating a tool and a system to where like you can constantly thrive, to where, you know, you're having fun and you have a lot of energy and you have time to like work on yourself, because you got to take care of yourself to be able to take care of other people.
So good. Yeah, you know, that's so true. And I think a lot of owners and leaders, they take so much pressure on and they don't know how to delegate. They get stuck. And then it's just like their inbox floods, leads are not getting followed up with. They're not following up with proposals. They're late on proposals. They're not talking to customers in a promptly manner. And then all the pressure just weighs in on you. And then you can easily drink an entire bottle of whatever and just put those emotions away for 12 to 18 hours. And then they don't get any better. They come back, or you can go whatever it is. And I'm not, you know, everybody could be in that place, but you decided to change, get out of your comfort zone. And as you invested in yourself and you're growing, you're overflowing. So now your job's to like equip people to how they can do the same and how they can grow. But you're like, you really set your leadership stepped up and it's changing your organization. So this culture starts with the owner, right? The culture is going to start with the owner, and that's what you saw. So really cool. Really love what's happened here. You talked about delegating and elevating it, right? So what does that allow you to do now? So like, what would you say to people right now when they're like, oh, but I'm so good at sales. Oh, but I love production. Oh, but right? You know,
Yeah.
like, tell them, who are they? Like, tell them what they're doing.
You got to figure out, this is the most important thing that I tell everyone. There's so many different roles in the company. There's the ownership role, which is different. And a lot of you guys probably won't understand this right now, but you will one day, I promise, if you guys keep growing. There's an ownership role. Then there's the CEO. Then there's like the COO or the integrator, visionary integrator. Then there's a sales manager, your marketing manager, your operations manager, your finance manager. And you got to decide. The sooner you decide where your ideal perfect role is, I don't care where it is, you could still be the guy running material. And if you love that's what you do, then you hire other people to fill those gaps in those other seats. Not every single person is designed to be an absentee owner living on a beach, you know, somewhere in Europe. Like you may want that. And if you want that, you're going to need a lot more people. And you're going to need a lot more growth to get there. And you can do that. But like, if you really like the accounting side of the business, guess what? Boom. Immerse yourself in that side of the business, hire people to replace you that are better than you on the other sides of the business. So then that way you're still doing what you love with people that you love doing it with, and you're living your best life.
Love it. Yeah. So many people are afraid to delegate, and delegating sales effectively just gives you the ability to sleep better at night. At least I do. I mean, my gosh, like, you know, when you're having to wear that sales hat, even if you are good at it, like you've been, and, you know, you, Toby, you guys were trained in sales and trade, you know, it's hard to delegate something you're good at because you find value in it. Right. And you can control the business and, like, you know, make an immediate impact, go close some deals, hit the bottom line. But that's not going to get you to ultimately what you can get to with the vehicle of your business. Right. And of your department. So really good stuff.
I can add one more point before we talk about Mr. Kenya. Most owners will become a bottleneck in their own business. And what I mean by that is, like, yes, a lot of times you may be the most talented person in your business and you might be the most well-rounded. It's probably why you're the business owner right now. But there are going to be people that are going to be better than you. And this guy that I'm going to show you next, Mark Kenya, I met him at a country club 3 or 4 years ago. He was a wine sommelier. And we did a roof for him, you know, as a customer. And then a year or two later, he calls me up and says, hey, I'm looking to get a new job. I got a family, you know, I want to make some money. You know, what do you got? I'll do anything. And I was hiring for project managers. So I was like, well, you want to come out and manage jobs? You can do that. Because at the time, I never thought he was a salesman. You know, he was a guy who wore a suit and like sold some expensive wine. So he came in, was a project manager for 6 months, realized that he really liked talking to neighbors and talking to other customers and was showing shingle boards. Next thing you know, we put him in sales. 2 months later, I met Ryan. We get the sales transformation accelerator program, and we start working that. And this is right after COVID. This guy's never sold anything before in his life. Remember that. That year, I feel like he did like 2.5 million in sales in 2020. And last year in 2021, he did 4 million in sales. And this is like $12,000 at a time. These aren't $100,000 contracts. We're doing average residential single family homes in Pennsylvania, no insurance, pure retail. I mean, and he is a systems guy, and he has took everything that I've taught him, everything that the course has taught him. He's went out and figured out how to do things better, and he's killing it. He's doing way better at sales than I've ever done at sales.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Good for you, man.
I remember coaching him in Texas a year ago live, and that was cool. And I want to do it again because I know there's always room to get better, but it's so good to see. So good.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what we covered: how to train a disciplined team of action takers who take action and crush sales. Thank you, Toby. Loved it. How to increase deal size, close rate, get more margin. And then thirdly, how to create an incredible culture and legacy in your business. So thank you guys for sharing. So has your time on this training been well spent? Let us know in the chat. Has it been well spent? Give us a little bit of feedback here. So let me know. Has this been well spent? Tell us in the chat. Has this been helpful so far? Okay. Cool. Thanks, Tim. Yes, looking very good. Thanks, guys. We all need affirmation. I'm just kidding. Okay, so look, you have two options. Option one is take what we've taught you here today, have a stab at it yourself, and try to get it working for yourself. That's something you can do. Completely fine, right? Option two is, hey, what if we personally helped, coached, and mentored you through this entire process? What if we took an active role in your results and worked with you to help you achieve this for yourself? So option one, fine. Option two, if that's of interest to you, we would like to introduce you guys Sales Accelerator. So this is our program that both Toby and Benny have, credited, thankfully, some of their results to. Much of the results is completely on them. They just had some guidance from me and some structure and some encouragement and confidence in the product to help with that. But they're ultimately the one doing it. So that's something you got to remember is you on the other side of this webinar have to do the work. But do you want to coach? Do you want to guide? Do you want someone who can lead you down a proven system? So here's what Sales Accelerator can do for you. You have a predictable growing backlog of high margin work. Your sales cycles are shorter and your closing ratio is higher. Your team is on fire, taking consistent, disciplined action and having success. You have resources to invest in brand positioning, technology, equipment, and new innovations. And you could create a place where people transform their lives in your company and is attracting the best type of talent. Here's what's included with Sales Accelerator: proven sales system for construction and trades businesses, customized sales evaluations for you and your team, professionalizing your sales force through coaching and support, a recruiting funnel and new rep ramp-up method, team communication, sales and marketing automation, best practices, integrations. We're going to be able to help you with that so you can automate and remove data entry and reduce that so you guys can focus on doing what moves the needle, which is selling, and not spending all your time trying to stay organized and put stuff in the CRM and this and that. Machine does the work automatically, and humans skilled doing what they're supposed to do moves the needle. And also it includes an amazing community and support from other growth-minded contractors. Okay. So that's what's included. So this journey is actually what we walk you through if you become a member of the Sales Accelerator program, become a client. And, these dates are meant to be interchangeable, and we drag and drop like chutes and ladders and put these icons on here. And as we essentially map out your journey. But first step, we have a ramp up call with one of our business strategists. We have the evaluation, do the evaluation review. Maybe Toby and Ben, what was it like when you have had your evaluation or your salespeople and you've gone through it with them? What's that look like? How has that helped the Accelerator how has that helped you guys having that step evaluation?
It's great because it tells me, it gives me a baseline of where we're at and the things to work on instead of just going, well, you got to work on all of them. Like, it just helps me laser focus the thing that's going to give us the most impact.
And I think that OMG evaluation is like it's like the back of a baseball card. And basically, you know, if you're a sports person, you love that because you want to see where you're weak at. You want to be able to like try to improve that a little bit, have confidence and know what you're great at, and just keep letting that confidence exude out and do those awesome things. So it's definitely a great tool. And it's a good recruiting tool as well if you do that part.
Yeah, it's so good. And then we extract out of you your sales vision, right? Your core values. Who are we? Where are we going with this thing? I am following you. Lead me, right? People are following you. Lead them. Become the leader that they want you to be, because people want to be led. Not everybody's a born leader. Not everybody has you are the leader. You are the influencer. So create that sales vision and then have an amazing kickoff experience. Ben has done such a great job. I love, he's just like, I remember a couple of years ago, he had his first kickoff and he blew up our Facebook group with all the pictures and he had a video and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then he started using that for recruiting and he started recycling and repurposing everything from a content standpoint to help people realize, hey, we invest in training here. We have a culture here. And I just love that. That's what we want to see you do, is transform your organization into a magnetic, high performing talent magnet in your organization that can come and have a successful chapter in their life. And then they'll be able to give your business the credit for that. That's amazing. That's what we get to do. What a powerful thing. Then you have them at kickoff. Then you get into coaching, regular coaching sessions. And we have in groups and one-on-one. We help you build your positioning statement. We help you set up your Slack and communication channels and review your CRMs and make sure your sales meetings are dialed in and you're leading well and it's effective and we can poke holes in that. Then you guys go through the rest of the training as a team. We believe that going through the training as a team fosters camaraderie and accountability with the process to one another versus, hey, tonight, while you're trying to be passed out and falling asleep and watching Monday Night Football, I want you to try to watch some sales training. No, it's like, we're going to do this together. We're going to train as a team. We're going to die as a team, win as a team. And so something that's unique about our program is we're big on fostering team building. As a professional baseball player, I never played a sport that was a single person sport. I always played with teams. So I just don't know any other way. Like if I want to create something that's awesome and attractive, that recruit high performers and go be successful, if you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. We don't want a bunch of mavericks on their own. We want a bunch of people working together as a team. We get into compensation structures as well. So if you have questions on that, we're big on helping you with that. Prospecting techniques and best practices, a ramping playbook and the ramping process, and even using the OMG for screening new talent and with the hiring funnel, and then company presentation deck. We love to do that with lunch and learns and things like this and that. Sales calls. We're big on presentation, and then helping you gather case studies, plugging that in to your sales and marketing process to help you guys convert faster. So really good stuff here. Love this journey. This is just high level pillars of what we do. There's a lot that we do, but we help this process go along very quickly. Couple of client results real quick. We have a guy who signed on, a little while back, and they closed $1 million re-roof the first week. This is a Facebook group post. Also, young lady here was selling. They landed their largest repaint contract in the history in just 30 days. Some folks in South Florida really love seeing how much they grew when we implemented these systems and processes like this. We want you to be next, right? We want you to be next. We want you to be next. We want you to be next. We want you to grow and unlock that next level. We want to break through that ceiling. We want to see you guys transform yourself, your leadership, your salespeople, your sales process, your sales organization into something that you can't believe is real, but you always knew deep down this is what you're meant to be and meant to do, but you just haven't quite connected the dots. We want to connect those dots with you. We want to help you guys become and transform, not a copycat, guys. We want you to be yourselves, your own unique fingerprint of what makes you, your organization special and unique, and give you the tools to do it. We want to see you be next. So this is your personal invitation to book a free strategy call. So here's what you'll get. You'll get a one-on-one consultation with one of our account executives at STG. These guys are awesome. These guys are not commission only 1099. Like they have benefits, full salaries. They get us, they work on our team full time. This is all they think about in terms of their work life is STG clients and helping people be successful. Okay. So just know you're going to be speaking with some of those amazing people. You're going to get customized feedback on your goals and insights to develop and grow your business, plus a fast action bonus. If you guys decide to do this now, the first 10 people to join the Sales Accelerator program get free tickets to the Transform Conference in Dallas, the 5th through 8th. So this is behind me is the image. We're going to be blowing up social media and sharing all about it here in a couple of weeks. This is a personal kind of an early bird invitation. So scan now and you guys can just book it. It's really, really simple. Ben, if you and Toby want to talk about this, this invitation to the strategy call from here.
So I know one thing I will tell everybody obviously knows that we're trying to get better, sell more jobs, right? That's the basic. That's the one thing that you're going to get, right? What I didn't expect to get was the camaraderie. Can I even say that word? I shouldn't say words I can't spell, but the camaraderie of the community, of the other clients that Ryan has attracted through, his core values. Like, it's like we're all, like, every time I meet a company owner at one of these events or like in Facebook Messenger, it's like we're like all the same. Like, we all have the same type of values. We all have the same type of like growth mindset. And when you're around those types of people, man, it's awesome. It is, you learn so much more than you even thought you were coming for. Like, and that's what's opened up my mind, and that's what's helped transform my company and me personally.
Yes, a strategy call is pretty cool. It gives you a really good idea of what you can expect and what it would take to do it. Maybe it's not for you if you're not looking for it, but they'll definitely help you find out if this is a fit and if it's something that's going to help you to take your business where you never realized you could go, or that desire of your heart, that place you really want to go but you don't know how to get there. Man, I know for me it's been huge. A big leap forward for us. Probably the biggest decision we made with any vendor is this has made the biggest impact quickly.
Yeah.
If you're struggling to land go ahead, Ben.
I would just say I would second that. I remember my discovery call. I think that's what you call it. That's what we call it now at our company, right? So the other thing I was paying attention to on these discovery calls when you book one is look at the way they go through their process. And it's really, really awesome. And you really see how professional that they do it. And that's what they're going to end up teaching you and your guys on how to do. And that's what I thought was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so if you're struggling to land profitable jobs, you're working too many hours, not getting the ROI you want, you have a sales team, you want to take them to the next level. You don't have a sales team and you want to invest in yourself and start hiring the salespeople. You're tired of chasing short-term money, but now you want the foundation for long-term potential. Go ahead and book. So it's pretty straightforward. Here's another client here. Guys were stuck at 15 million a year. They got to 20 in 18 months with less people. They started delegating commercial concrete company. So if all this did for you was help you learn sales faster with expert guidance, would it be worth a free call? If you find, train, and retain salespeople who generate new opportunities by themselves, would it be worth a free call? If you could take a vacation without worrying about your business falling apart, would it be worth a free call? So pretty straightforward. You get the bonus, first 10 people to join, get the free tickets. So you just scan it, you get a Calendly kind of link. You see like a scheduled time, you pick the date, you pick the time, you enter your info, and you schedule it. So really, again, one-on-one consultation, feedback directly, fast action bonus. If you guys hop on and join us, you will have free tickets to the Transform Conference, which is huge. So if you guys have any questions, we want to create some space for that. If you guys have any questions, do it. Let's who wants to go ahead and ask?
I'm going to put out there, they can ask me anything now. Probably have to put disclaimers on some of that stuff, but
Yeah.
Let's I would listen. And here's the thing about Toby. The friendship that I've made with Toby over the last couple of years, and has been phenomenal. And he's all the way, he's 2,000 miles away from me, but I feel like he's right there in the chat anytime I ever have questions. I run stuff by him. You'll find your friends in this journey. I'm a friend for you. I can tell you that. If you ever have any questions about sales process, business, anything like that, you can always Facebook message me. I'd be glad to help you out quickly. And because it really has changed my life, and not only so much for my company, but for me personally. And that's a big deal, because now I can help more people and have a bigger impact.
Hey, Sean Whalen, Terrence Day, Tara Sumner, Cesar Flores, thank you for booking a call. Appreciate you very much. Cesar, is this more like a virtual library where you do the training? It's a hybrid. Okay. It's a hybrid of online course platform, group coaching live, and the live events, which is something you can't miss.
The group coaching is really cool too, because every Tuesday you can get your whole team in there, and it's basically Ryan's got his whole team in there, and they're role playing together, and they're really getting better, and if they can get 1% better every week, you'll see massive improvements in your company and your brand.
Yeah, there's a call for the sales leaders and for the sales people. There's a roofing call and a non-roofing call. So man, it's hard to carve out that time sometimes, but you put your team on that and they just keep sharpening the sword. Just keep it up. It's almost like it's not autopilot, but it puts a little bit of the training on autopilot, and that's pretty sweet. And hey, if you're brand new to sales, Bradley, the guy was brand new, and STG was amazing. I mean, the baseline selling process it was fantastic. I loved it.
Chris, thank you. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate your booking, brother.
I would say, typically most of your business owners, are typically somewhat decent at sales. That's probably how they got started. But even if you're not, if you don't consider yourself a salesman, maybe you're a roofer, maybe you're a painter, maybe you're the guy carrying the ladder, that's okay. Once you get into this program and then you start hanging out with other salespeople and other sales leaders and other owners, you'll then start being able to pick up things that you'll be able to take back to your business and really have an impact. I was lucky enough back, 20 years ago to start learning I sold cars, and I was around 25 people in a car dealership, and I was able to watch all of them, right? Well, you can't do that when you're an owner in a roofing company because you're too busy, right? So this gives you the opportunity to be able to hang out with, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people whenever you want in the STG community, and be able to get information that doesn't even relate to sales necessarily all the time. I had some guy, I don't know if you remember Jim Bush, Ryan.
Yeah, I do.
I was on one of those sales leader calls, and I was struggling with something else in my business. It had nothing to do with sales. He watched the playback. He wasn't even on there live. He watched the recording. This is how dedicated he was. He watched the recording, then sent me a personal email and gave me some advice on the situation that I was in. And then I implemented his advice, and that even took my company to a whole nother level. And it wouldn't have been for me being in this webinar or this group coaching thing with Jim Bush, with Ryan, I would have never had that little piece. And that thing totally unlocked.
The guy watched the recording and then
emailed me, took the time to email me, which is that's it. Let's be honest. I know someone who was asking for the recording and stuff. Nobody watches the recordings back. You know what I mean? This guy did, and it was amazing. It was. That guy is
an amazing person too, and a great business operator.
I've met so many amazing humans just by the amazing humans that you're surrounding yourself with. And that's why core values are important, because when you're hiring, you can create your own company and hang out with the people that you want to hang out with now. Once you realize about core values and your mission and your principles, and that's your North Star, it unlocks so many things, because then you're just around people that are like you, and you're having fun doing it. And thanks again for the opportunity to even be here today. I mean, this was fun.
Man, you've just been a shining star, and it's been awesome. It's been awesome. We got a quick, I think, Tara, you need to hire a crew here in the South Gulf Coast, because we got hit by hurricanes every summer between Texas and Louisiana. So roofing is a huge business. It's awesome. Yeah, you're right. The reliability of contractors, people robbing money, doing the wrong thing. I mean, we hear you. So booking a call, guys, we want you to invite you into this, and it's bigger than just sales, because your life is more than just just your business, right? It's like, man, it's so much going on that if we can holistically transform ourselves, our culture, our core values, our business, our selling methodology, the people doing it within the markets we're in consistently over time, there's a compounding effect, and you start to pinch yourself and say, wow, life's good. And then, but you know that if you stop becoming like fostering this thing, you know, then like my point is it's not a trap. It's like it's a blessing. You get to, the sales will set you free. The sales team will set you free to be who you are as an owner, even as a sales leader. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Appreciate all of you guys who booked these calls.
The cool thing about the strategy call, what I remember, right? And you know, I think I did mine back in the day with you when you were still doing them, but your team, and I met a couple of them at the IRE a couple months ago. They're so good at being able to figure out, like, because they have so much experience dealing with business owners, they're so good at being able to like listen to all your problems and then coming up with like a customized solution that's really going to work well, and then a game plan. And then they stick with you, you know, through the process, especially through that kickoff process, and then going through the first 2 phases as a business owner are really important to lay that foundation down. So you guys will really want to make sure that, I always tell people that you want to like earmark about 4 to 6 hours a week for the first 4 to 6 weeks to really, really get the foundation started right with you. So then that way you can, you know, get your sales team, or if you don't have a sales team, you can start learning how to sell better. Because when you sell better and you make more money, then you'll be able to take that money and invest into more training and in more new hires, more trucks on the road, more marketing. It just starts to snowball from there. And then
So we got a question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Will this work if you're brand new? Like, let me ask you this. What if you had this when you started the business brand new?
I would be sitting, this room would be full of, I don't know, everything would be covered in gold. No, it wouldn't be. You know what I'd be? My background instead of my office would be a view of the ocean in Costa Rica, because I'd be conducting these from my, you know, $10 million palace, and, you know, it'd be amazing. So yeah, it was certainly a restrainer that I didn't realize. Oh yeah, Fish, you got my.
I'm already there, baby. I'm already there.
It was definitely a restrainer. I didn't realize. I thought we had a great program until we did this, and I look back and go, oh my gosh, what I could have done if I had this 5 years earlier would have been a game changer for me.
I thought I was the best salesman in the world. You know, I was really cocky. I was immature business owner. I never owned a business. I never managed people. You got to remember, the first day that I started my company, like, I never was in charge of anybody except for myself. And there was a growing up stage, and I'm still growing up, and I'm still a young, you know, up and coming leader that I'm trying to really work on some of my leadership skills. But yeah, back in those days, man, I was like, oh, I can outsell you and I can outsell you. And, you know, that's a bad mentality to have. It's not good for the people. I remember the first guy I hired, and like, hey, just do it like me. You know, like, oh, you can't close this. Oh, you suck. No, like, there's way better ways to like do things and manage people and have systems and processes. And it's relieving. As much as like some of us may hate systems and processes, once you get them, it's like a drug. Like, you never want to go back. Like, it's the best thing in the world to have systems and processes in your business. Because that way you can be in Colorado on webinars and like hang out. Yeah,
totally. Well, love having you guys on. And hey, everybody, thanks for staying a little long. You know, there was no obligation to, but it's great to see you hanging out. So look, we still have some spots available here. We do have limited spots over the next 10 days to get you tickets on the fast action bonus. But yeah, I think this is awesome. Thank you guys.
I can't wait to see whoever wins the tickets for Transform. I want to know who they are, because I want to actually hang out with them a little bit in Dallas.
Yeah, Fish will buy you all your drinks.
We're drinking Diet Coke now. Okay?
I'll buy you a sandwich.
No.
Fish will buy you all
I need a rice bowl, baby. I need a rice bowl.
He'll make you breakfast every day.
A rice bowl and a Perrier. You know, let's go.
And most importantly, he'll tell you where to get those amazing V-neck t-shirts.
The Psycho Bunny.
Well, Big Fish is coming out with his own brand. It's in the works. You guys heard it here first. Nobody even knows that. So this is a little bit more.
Love it.
I can't wait.
Sauce, right? You have some hot sauce, don't you?
back in the day, that was like my first business idea, like a long time ago. I could only make $1 a bottle, and I was making the bottles myself. I realized I was actually the bottleneck on making my own bottles of sauce. So then I was like,
And you're a comedian.
I'm not doing it. I'm
This
not.
guy is a multiple threat.
I'm selling $12,000 rooms, not $8 a bottles of spice.
No wonder you have the most beautiful girlfriend in the world, buddy.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
when you're doing the right thing, you attract. You attract.
Where's the picture? Where's the picture of the I'm just kidding. Follow Ben on Facebook. You'll see what his girlfriend looks like.
No, Ben's awesome, man. One of the best guys I know.
Yeah, thank you guys. If you're watching the replay, you know, you can see the link to schedule. You should see it. If not, my marketing person needs to be coached. Okay.
So be up on Facebook. If you guys have any questions, any hesitations, hit me up. I've actually helped 2-3 people in my own market with this program, because when everybody levels up, like what do they say? A rising tide raises all ships.
Yep.
They say, and it really is true, because our market's booming and it's never been better.
All right. Thanks everybody. Bye now.
See you,
And we'll
Gino.
talk to you. Okay. Bye-bye.